Welcome to the Goalbusters Expert Peak Productivity Tips podcast, where top business experts get just 7 minutes to answer 5 rapid-fire questions about what they do and how they stay productive. Each episode is packed with actionable insights to help boost your efficiency and achieve your goals. Let's dive in and unlock the secrets to peak performance. Well, hello everyone. My name is Robin J. Emden, and I am the creator and author of the Get Resultsology system and a dedicated accountability coach. My mission is to empower solopreneurs to unlock their true potential, boost their income, and achieve extraordinary success by maximizing productivity, streamlining their businesses, and aligning their goals with their authentic vision and purpose. So, if you're ready to turn ambition into action and transform your goals into reality, you're in exactly the right place. And speaking of being in exactly the right place, I'm delighted to say that in our place today on our Goalbusters podcast, our special guest is Nicole Bernard. Now, Nicole is founder of nb.marketing, with a background of running a successful brewery and years of experience in digital marketing. Nicole helps small business owners simplify their marketing and grow with confidence. Nicole's expertise has earned her features in the Oregonian, Portland Monthly, and the Seattle Times. Nicole, welcome to Goalbusters.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
You're very welcome. I'm excited that you're here too. Whereabouts in the world are you, Nicole?
I'm in Hood River, Oregon, out on the West Coast, so I'm about an hour from Portland.
All right, and about 7 hours from me, but that's the time zone, not the time it takes to reach me here in England. Okay, that's perfect. Shall we start the questions?
Ready when you are.
Absolutely. Well, we'll get the clock up and then we'll be ready. So there it goes. Nicole, let's talk about what you do. Could you tell me, please, who is your ideal client?
Yes. So I own a marketing agency, and I have 2 ideal clients. One, they're all small business owners, but half of them are people that don't have like the team or the desire to do their own marketing. So my agency does it for them, or they want to learn, but they're not exactly sure where to start or how to go. And so we consult with them to help them with their marketing.
Okay, and that segues nicely because you started to cover it there into the problem or problems that you solve. Could you expand on that point, please?
Yes. Yeah. Marketing is constantly evolving. There seems to be a new tool or platform or trend every day. So we help them figure out what is best for them, for their business, because there are so many tools, but using them strategically and customized for their business is what really helps. So whether we're doing it for them or we're working with them through it, we help them that way.
Excellent. That's much clearer now for me. Well, it's clearer for me. I always knew what you were doing. All right, that's perfect. Thank you. So could you tell me, please, what is one valuable free action that the audience can implement them that will help them with their marketing and solving the problems that you solve?
Yes, exactly. So I think a lot of business owners, myself included, when I first started, we jump right in. We are so excited to do what we're doing and bring our products or services to the world. But in marketing, we kind of jump over creating our foundation. So who our ideal customer would be, what our goals are, what our messaging and branding, and that really helps figure out which marketing channels to spend our time on, making it a lot more efficient and effective. And so that is just one thing that I've really learned over the years and worked with clients, whether I'm doing it for them or consulting with them, we always start on that foundation. So I just urge people to start there. Maybe even if you have to kind of go back and think about it, it just really helps get a lot of clarity in your marketing.
Yeah, and it'd probably be no surprise to you how many people do skip that part. It's such a fundamental point that you're making there. But I know from experience, maybe even personal experience, that it's really easy to skip that very important step. And you have to go back at some point. You realize, oh, shoot, I missed that. I really need to go back and do it.
Right. Yeah, because it can get really frustrating or overwhelming when you're not seeing results. And and a lot of times it's just misaligned marketing. So if you can kind of get really granular on some of those things, it makes a world of change.
Yeah, great word as well, granular. That really helps to describe Yeah, perfect. Thank you very much. So now that we have a better understanding of what you do, let's dive into goal busting, which is focusing on how to maximize productive time to achieve business goals. So, Nicole, could you share any tips or advice for someone looking to improve their productivity habits, please?
Yeah. Yeah, and it's really simple too. It's just the power of a calendar. I in my own life, I've realized that, if I put it in the calendar, I can kind of work back to what I'm trying to achieve, and having it in there keeps me really accountable. So that has been really helpful for me. The other thing that I've also told a lot of business owners is like every once a week, staying like scheduled into your calendar, but maybe even if it's like 30 minutes to an hour, like a Sunday afternoon and a cup of tea, and you kind of get all of, your marketing ideas, what's coming up, what you would like to focus on, any events, blah, blah, blah. So it gets out of your brain and onto paper, and you don't have to necessarily work out every single piece of content or anything like that. But once you can kind of start to see it and get it out of your head, it becomes a lot less overwhelming and a lot easier to stick to that habit. And then you can also kind of like break it up into your calendar so it's spread out and not just all in your head and overwhelming you.
Excellent. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when you and the calendar, of course, helps you see, you can predict where the overwhelm will be because there are conflicts in your calendar that perhaps you hadn't anticipated if you weren't disciplined enough to do it. And I guess I may, if I may add, have one calendar, not several, because
Yes,
it's so easy. I mean, I've got more than one email address and it's so easy. They all want to give you calendars. And
exactly. Yes,
even if I only use the one, sometimes when I go to open the calendar, it opens a blank one. I'm like, what's this? And it's so easy to trip up and not realize that you've sent something to the wrong calendar.
exactly. Yeah, I used to have that problem too because I have a Google account, and then I also have Outlook. And so then
Yeah.
over the years, I was just like, I'm only sticking to one. Like,
Yeah. In fact, I've also got a paper one because
oh
I was
yes.
like, I'm very visual and I prefer pen and paper, but it's
Me
not good
too.
when you're doing online bookings. It's just not quick enough or easy enough, and you've got to remember to do it. But thank you. That was great. That's a really good tip. Thank you so much. And also, British, I like the bit about drinking tea. I thought that was very British, although I'm a coffee drinker. So what am I
I
saying?
know. I'm not a, yeah, I don't drink tea either. Yeah, I thought maybe.
You're just trying to relate. No, it doesn't work. I drink
Yeah.
coffee. All right.
Coffee's
So
so good.
could you share? Okay, so one final question, and I've no idea what it's going to be because this is where I ask, what should I have asked you today that I didn't? And your answer, please, Nicole.
Yes, this one took me a minute when I was doing my homework for this. But and it's a question that I ask on my podcast. It's one of my favorites, and it's, what is your favorite book? And my favorite book is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. I was introduced to it a few years ago. That kind of set the tone for, mindset, which to me, I wasn't quite using in business. I didn't realize the importance of, all of the different aspects. I feel like mindset's kind of a buzzword, but hopefully you know what I'm talking about and
Yes.
how important that is. Yeah. Not just, and business strategy is obviously extremely important, but being able to have the mental aspects that go along with that has just changed how I run my business and my life. So,
Yeah, it's a great little book, and I discovered many years ago. I very much doubt that there's anybody watching or listening to this that hasn't heard of it. But
right.
has everyone read it? And I discovered many years ago, one of the things that that he says in the book is there's a secret, and I'm not going to name it outright. But every single chapter I will be referring to the secret of the. I
Mhm.
mean, they made an Australian company took that literally and made a thing called The Secret about it. But the actual Think and
So,
Grow Rich book itself, he refers to it in his own way. And I remember the first time I read that book, in fact, the first few times I read that book, I'm like, am I being dense? What's going on? I can't actually work out what he's talking about. And then I read up on it and I discovered that the original facsimile of the book published in, what is it, 1936, I think. Don't quote me on
mhm.
that, but I think it was around then. Does indeed include in every chapter reference to the secret that he's
Mhm.
referring to. But you're talking also more about the mindset that comes in every chapter, not specifically about the secret. I do understand that and acknowledge that. But apparently, his publisher, Napoleon Hill, wasn't it, who wrote it? His publisher edited it out of the later editions.
Really?
So
Oh,
for a long time, the commonly available editions of the book that you could find in mainstream bookstores, they all gave you the same experience, which was, am I missing something here? Is it really that obscure? No, the publisher had edited it out because they didn't
huh.
think it was appropriate to get out there. But so my top tip is, if you're going to buy a copy, make sure you buy a facsimile copy from the original edition
Yeah,
from 1936. It is easily available now, but
right.
they
Yeah, because I'm
messed
pretty sure
with
I
it.
read the updated version, so I'm really interested to see that because that kind of just spurred me on my whole mindset kind of
Yeah,
journey. Like
yeah,
Earl
it's
Nightingale talks about The Secret, so I don't know. That's really interesting. And yeah,
yeah.
I watched that movie too.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot in there. You're right. It's more than just that, but it was just yeah, I digress. But it's just, I was amused by the fact that his own publisher had edited it out and people were still reading. It's a great book. It's a great book. And I'm going, I don't understand. I really don't understand. Am I really that dense? And no, it wasn't me. It was them. All right. So, I digress and I apologize. So, what's really important now, though, not to digress, is how can people reach you? And also, Nicole, is there like a valuable free resource that they could get from you? There's a really good way of you introducing yourself to them.
Yeah, at my website, it's just nb.marketing. There is no .com /freebies. And so it actually has a workbook on it about what I just talked about, the foundation. So it's like, I think it's like a 15-page workbook that kind of works you through all those things. It helps get all of that, messaging, goals, buyer persona out of your head. And then there's also, I do a free newsletter on Fridays too, with like updating like marketing trends and tips and, any like updates, things like that. So that's all there on that one website.
Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Nicole, it's been amazing and very, very interesting. Thank you so much for sharing your pearls of wisdom with us today and about what you do and about how useful that is. I've learned a lot, actually, and I hope that our listeners feel the same way. I'm sure they will.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you for having me. This has been so much fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you again. And bye-bye, Nicole.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to Goalbusters. If you're enjoying it, please subscribe, rate, and review it on your favourite podcast platform. Your support is very much appreciated. And if you're ready to boost your online profits, skyrocket your productivity, crush procrastination, and see a positive change in your bank balance, all within just 30 days, this is your opportunity. Take my free 5-day challenge at www.skyrocketyourproductivitychallenge.com.